Across the centuries, people have always gathered where beverages are served, where beverages are available. Even today, we call a restaurant or a bar our favorite watering hole, because it's a place where we go after work to unwind with our friends. The water cooler in the office is a place where employees gather for a cold drink and a bit of office gossip. It was probably not a lot different at village wells back in Jesus' time. It was the town watering hole, where everyone gathered, especially 2 times a day, early in the morning and late in the evening, so as to avoid the heat during the day. And they would gather to catch up on news and also to stay current on all the juiciest, town gossip. And the Samaritan woman had no doubt long been a favorite subject of gossip at the watering hole. Most of the sermons I have read and heard have tended to paint her as a hardened sinner, a sexually promiscuous woman. And some see Jesus as exposing her sordid sex life. But I believe that this woman is more likely to be the one who was mistreated and demeaned. She may have been a victim too. See, in Jesus' day, men held almost all the rights to divorce. A man could divorce his wife on the smallest pretext. He only had to attest something unseemly in her. And this unseemliness could be as trivial as the husband not liking the way his wife looked first thing in the morning, or the fact that she boiled his eggs, too hard. So to make a divorce effective, all the husband had to do was to call in a male friend, a male witness, and say to his wife 3 times, I divorce you. It's like 3 times, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. And then write out the dismissal notice. That's how it happened. So women had no say in this matter. And due to warfare, famine, disease, and injury, men in those days dropped like flies. So a widow was obliged to marry her dead husband's brother, if the brother so chose. And maybe this woman was unlucky to have a series of husbands die, and she had to marry the next in line. But anyway, her 6 encounters with men were all of a damaging kind. Used and abused. Her bruising encounters with the righteous women of the village also became damaging ones, because they had reduced her sense of self-worth to near zero. She was a tattered remnant of what God created her to be. And the truth is that most of us know what it feels to be used up by others and then discarded like a dirty Kleenex, don't we? And unfortunately, many of our human encounters are like that. And such encounters leave us bitter and cautious and suspicious of human relationships. We may even become antisocial characters, outwardly aggressive and abrasive types, while underneath we are afraid and still feel the pain of all wounds. So the Samaritan woman went to the well at noon, the hottest time of the day, to avoid her neighbors and their judgment. And when she saw Jesus, she perhaps, averted her eyes, gritted her teeth, and hoped to get through this as painlessly as possible. But then Jesus cleared his throat, and she no doubt thought, oh, here it comes. But no, there is no judgment in his voice. And he even asks her for some water, instead of barking out a demand to her. And the thing is, she is so taken aback that she blurts out, "You, a Jew, are not supposed to talk to me, a Samaritan." She is shocked at having Jesus talk to her, and very shocked at the fact that Jesus is asking a drink. Jesus has no cup. Therefore, he has to drink from her cup. Can you imagine that? This is unthinkable. This is contamination. That is what the result would be, contamination of a Jew by the unclean Samaritan. And Jesus is indeed breaking with convention, with the rules to engage this woman. And this is why, the disciples will shortly be so embarrassed and scandalized to witness this. But Jesus not only speaks with this woman, he speaks the word of life to her. And he offers her living water, a new spring of water that would well and bubble up into all eternity. And the woman whose own heart feels withered and dry cries out, "Sir, please give this water to me." Needless to say, she wants to buy stock in the company that produces this wonderful libation. Okay, Jesus says, but one more thing. Let's bring your husband into the deal too. What? Why did Jesus say that? To shame her? To condemn her the way the other residents of the village would do by mentioning this? No. But probably as a reminder to her that she had been trying to quench her thirst in all the wrong ways. It wasn't meeting Mr. Right or finding companionship that was going to drown her thirst. Friends, strong relationships are built on self-revelation, not on common interest or common perspectives on life. Enduring relationships grow when two people are able to reveal themselves to one another. And that is exactly what happened at Jacob's well. Jesus revealed himself to the woman whom he found there. And a Samaritan was able to begin a new relationship, an eternal relationship. Because we know that when Jesus meets us on the road of our lives, he opens the way for us to begin such a relationship ourselves. This relationship is the living water. He was not offering free advice to this woman. He was offering himself. See, people need to experience the living water of Jesus Christ, because people everywhere need grace and forgiveness and acceptance. And most people want to avoid the pain of being nobodies. They want to be recognized and cherished as somebodies who matter. There are so many who need to drink from the streams of living water, just as that woman standing at the well did. And this passage is good news for anyone who has ever felt humiliation or the pain of being a nobody, because Jesus does not turn away from this woman. And just like Jesus, who stopped at the well for a talk with a Samaritan woman, and just like that woman who went and hindered back into the community that had rejected her, we have to break the rules to share the living waters of Christ's life with others. As followers of Christ, as part of Christ's very body, we have to imagine ourselves in Jesus' role. The one who breaks the rules to speak to outsiders. So the question for us today is this: Are the streams of living water flowing through you? Are we going to new places and meeting new people, and are we doing it for the right reasons? You know, it would be great if we could interact with the kind of people that will cause others to pause, do a double take, and ask, why on earth is Susan talking to that person? Because we must drop our stereotypes and allow God to be in the midst of conversation with us and all those people we think we've figured out. We have been to the well, we have tasted the living waters, and we have been transformed forever. Now, we should be for others like an oasis of life in the midst of a barren and life-threatening desert. We have to gather with the strange crowds at the watering hole, and we have to offer the living water of Christ. We have to offer ourselves as Christ did. And it can be as easy as one simple question: would you like a drink of water? In the name of Jesus. See, contrary to some bleak views that teach that nobody wants to know about Jesus, I believe people are generally ready to hear. You have just got to find a way to speak their language. People today are skeptical because they see so many inconsistencies in the lives of professing Christians. But they're not close to a genuine presentation of the gospel from a person who is genuinely possessed by the Lord of that gospel. If they see it in operation in you, they will naturally want it as well. Maybe the problem isn't with the lost out in the world, Maybe we in church have to get our lives in order first. Maybe instead of going around undermining, backbiting, gossiping, and otherwise putting other people down, we should be real agents of transformation in the lives of others. The woman at the well got her priority in order in a hurry. There was a moment when the questions and the doubts ended. And she forgot everything. And she left her water jug behind. The very reason she'd come to the well. And she ran to tell everybody about the real water. You know, she has been called the first evangelist in the church. And you might be saying, well, Pastor Avery, you're defending this woman. You know, you're making a case for her not to be, looked as a very simple woman. But the fact that Jesus comes to her and reveals himself to her is that Jesus sees in her the good that she can do. And a very important thing is that, and I was not going to share, but I think I need to share it with you. John uses the Greek word nigh, which is a great term for endearment. And Jesus uses this term with her when he calls her woman. Woman. Believe me, the hour is coming when you will worship the Father, neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. This is the equivalent of calling her special lady. Think of this. This woman is a village outcast who cannot associate with other women, has been divorced several times, and is now living with a man who is not her husband, yet Jesus sees the possibilities in her, calls her special lady. And Jesus used the same word for this woman that he used to address his mother at the wedding in Cana and on the cross. This is amazing. A woman, a Samaritan. And yet Jesus calls her a special lady and offers her the water of life. And when she's offered the water of life, she runs to tell everyone about this Jesus, the prophet, the Messiah, the Savior of the world. We may disagree on how faith is to be shared. However, there can be no debate on the fact that we are to share our faith. This, my friends, is the true mark of a believer. A man once said, every Christian occupies some kind of a pulpit and preaches some kind of a sermon every day. And people are watching. If your way to share your faith is to hand some gospel literature, fine. Is your way is door to door? Great. Is your method is telephone, Facebook and Twitter or Telegraph or tell a neighbor? Wonderful. Just don't ever tell me that is just not your thing. If you do, you make a liar of Jesus, who said, and you shall be my witnesses.